Welcome
to the Pritchard pub.
Yes. Tonight we got Hojo of the Mythicals comic. Welcome.
Yeah. How's it going, Hojo?
Pretty good. Hot. It's hot. Heat wave down here, man.
Yeah. So I've heard it's raining everywhere else, apparently.
Oh my God, we need rain so bad.
Yeah. It's rained every single day here, and I'm not even joking, every day. And now it's just cold. The past 2 days have been cold, but it's been like almost 100 degrees and 75% humidity. So yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, we were just in Tennessee. I didn't like it. Like, it's very hot.
Oh, they probably have mosquitoes there too, huh?
No, we didn't have any. It was just hot.
That's nice.
It's too hot for mosquitoes. Like,
yeah.
Which is there. That point does exist. You just have to get so hot that like all the puddles and standing water.
Because there's so many people and it was asphalt. It's like very busy down there. It's like a big tourist attraction. Not going back for another couple of years.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Kid's about to drive me crazy.
Oh no, I can't get that.
So, why don't you go ahead and explain to the listeners who you are and what you do?
I'm Hojo. I make comics. You might have seen me around. It's hard not to see me on Twitter. Sorry. I'm a writer, creator of the Mythicals comic. It's a horror action mystery. It's in the vein of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and like Men in Black, kind of like twisted and the little my signature military flair on it and humor. So I guess like Buffy had that humor in it, but it was serious at times, so we get a little bit of that. Yeah.
Based.
Jesus fucking Christ, I hate you. I can't. Like we're gonna get divorced over that button.
Really? Can't have that button near me.
But
Anyway.
God, I hate it so much.
I was like, what did I say? That wasn't based.
Like Christian Bale on there or something?
That's Christian Magrum. That's the ultimate kahuna.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Do it again.
Do it again. Okay. Brace your ears. Here it is.
Based.
That is too.
No, that's ultimate kahuna. I mean, we made that from scratch.
No, it's not. Shut the fuck up. I seriously.
I swear on everything.
Dude, I cannot even stand you right now.
I'll have him back me up when he comes.
Kahuna. That is
I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I did it. I can show you all the files.
Do it. Okay. I don't believe
After
you.
the stream, I will.
It looks like.
And then she will tweet out, "Oh, she was wrong."
I love it when they do.
No, I won't.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? Why would I ever do that?
You're right. Why would
I always want to hear.
I was never wrong. If anything, I was confused.
True.
Or misled.
Fair. Misled. I like.
All right.
I like that. That's how I describe my villain.
Misled by reality.
Yeah.
Carry on.
No.
Yeah.
Oops. Snake that. So, are you or were you in the military?
Yeah, I was in the Army for about 6 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Joined the day after 9/11. So.
Oh, thanks for your service,
nice, dude. That's an epic. Like, yeah, you won't forget that, will you? That's. Yeah.
No, it's but like all roads lead to somewhere. So, in reality, yeah, something harsh had to happen, but I made good things happen out of it. Like I got an education and learned how to become more of a man, responsible adult. Really, and I'd say I did party a little bit, but
yeah, for sure.
I learned a lot, and then I met a dude in there, not like that. Who could draw, and like we were talking about comics and shit, and like one day we just hit it off and spent about like 4 hours of our day filling sandbags and talking about comic books.
Nice.
So I was like, I got an idea. I said, it's kind of the bare bones what the Mythicals is now, nowhere near. It's almost like if you see the original Ghostbusters script compared to what the movie was, because I just watched it last night, totally different, but the bones are still there. Right. So we got to talk, and he's like, so have you ever heard of cross-gen comics? I was like, of course. A lot of pros work there it's weird that I've been on streams with. It's insane. Like Andy Smith, like Mark Waid. Haven't been on a stream with him, but my heavy hitters, like so he's like, I know somebody that knows somebody there that might know somebody that could get us, we could get put on the top of a pile for them to look at. Not guaranteed we're going to get a job. I was like, all right. When we got back, wow, shit, they're out of business. He's like, he's like, it was like 2004 or something like that. He's like, we can go submit to Image Comics. I was like, dude, I got orders to Kentucky. I got to get the hell out of here. I don't have time for that shit.
Right.
You know, I didn't have time to go because Image Comics is Image Comics. I'm not shitting on CrossGen, but they did go out of business.
Yeah.
So, but it's because of their owner, you know.
Yeah.
Too much money and hired all these people and promised all this stupid stuff and tell them they're going to get movie deals and.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
That just sounds like a regular ass agent to me.
Yeah. One of those guys. But he was like, rich trust fund guy, I think, and just wanted to, he loved comic books. He didn't just like do it just to make money. He really did like comic books. He just was bad with the money.
Bad businessman.
Bad businessman is a broke businessman.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick, Bat Sauce, he says the Army isn't even the top 2 gayest of the branches.
I know. Yeah. Well, I don't know now. I don't know. This was I got out in 2008.
Yeah, that's true. Back when
the rankings have changed since then.
Butt Sauce
Navy's still number 1.
Yeah, Navy will always.
Butt Sauce is so gay he joined the
Coast Guard,
the Navy twice.
No, I think he's Marines, but that's like Navy's cousin, right? Basically.
I said he.
Yeah, they gotta give him a ride anyway.
That's true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Yeah, and so I met him, and all that. I put it away for a long time. Still kept writing. I grew up with and as an only child, I read a lot. Fantasy novels. Like I was a big Robert Louis Stevenson fan. That was my gateway into like stories that were outside of traditional literature, I guess, that I was supposed to be reading at that time. And so I always kept it hidden because like I played sports and music and stuff. So I hung out with everybody. That's me, like online. I really do. I associate with a lot of different people. I don't care. I just like cool shit. I like cool people. If you hang out with somebody I don't like, I don't care. But if I hang out with somebody you don't like and you don't like me because I hang out with somebody you don't like, are you following me? I don't care. I don't care.
It's your life.
Same.
Like, you don't run my shit. My wife does.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I'm gonna use that.
And so, like, I like to create, so I kept all that hidden. I did some creative in the Army.
Literally,
I had to hide that too. So, because in my MOS, I wasn't the writers were the people who push paper. The nerds. I'm a different kind of nerd. I don't have my glasses on. I told my wife, I'm like, because I'm not the typical nerd. She's like, why you have glasses? I'm like, well, you're being an unfair stereotype, but whatever. I said, don't judge me. That's I'm gonna turn you into the ethics police. So as life grew on, you got a wife happens, life happens, and this is like 2000 between two. I just kept tinkering. I kept coming back to it, and other stories. The Mythicals isn't like my first story. They say never to do like your very first idea, like your childhood story. Do other stuff and get good at what you're doing, and then do that, which is what I'm doing. I have and other stuff that I had thought of long before the Mythicals.
Right.
But this is more. Like I said, if you have an idea, you have to look at it and say, will this be marketable? You have to have marketability if you're new. I'm not saying I created something to just try to sell comic books. No, I created something. I had an idea one day back in the Army. Once I found crowdfunding, I didn't come to this until, when COVID happened, everybody was on social media. Everybody had got a YouTube channel. Everybody was, not me, none of it. Yeah. I never stopped working. None of that stuff. I didn't get on crowdfunding until one day I was looking at sports stuff, and it was 2021, late 2021, maybe 22. Shit, I don't remember. I launched my first book in February 2023.
Yeah, there was a couple people who mentioned that actually as a sub thing when they brought you up to me. They were like, he actually doesn't have a YouTube channel and stuff, and that kind of is something that's like part of your story, actually. I guess I would love to do it. It's not like I can't talk to people. Yeah,
I could be personable. I could run it. I do have retardation here because I don't know if I could. Like, you have a sound button on boards and running stuff and popping people in and putting people back and intro. Man, I fix electronics. That doesn't mean I know how to use them.
Yeah. It does help to be at least a gamer or something. Like something.
I can play Xbox and the Wii.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
that. I mean,
you can
I'm
kind of
not.
make it into a game.
I can.
You
I
can
can.
see it.
I don't know if I could do it still now. I
Yeah.
can code microprocessors and stuff like that.
Okay.
I'm not dumb. I'm
Okay.
an electronics technician by trade. That's
Oh,
what I
damn.
do now.
Damn, dude.
So
Well,
like,
there you go.
but I can't. I would have to learn it, and that's just
Yeah.
another thing that I have to take time out of my day and my family
Yeah.
to learn.
And
I'm sorry.
there
My
is a
comic
learning
books
curve.
take all of that time away.
Yeah.
I don't have time for sports. My teams are out of all the playoffs and stuff. You know, they didn't make the cup.
Yeah.
I had to watch. I'm hoping Edmonton wins it because I can't stand the Panthers now because they beat the Rangers. Totally different conversation. I hope you're watching, Billy Tucci. He's an Islanders fan.
Yeah.
Hates
And you know
Rangers.
there is a learning curve to the
Oh, yes, there
stream.
is. But here's the thing: a lot of people just start. I watched a lot of videos. I watched a lot of streams. I used to watch.
Hold on, is this our first hockey fan for a guest? I'm kind of excited about
You a
that.
hockey fan?
Well, as Minnesotans.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you got the Wild up there, huh?
Yeah.
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 Mm.
Yeah. Mhm.
Used to be the Stars. Every time I see like Dallas, it's just I'm like, oh, I remember when they were in Minnesota.
Yeah, I have a North Stars shirt actually.
Yeah, and so like Rob Arnold, I can't stress it enough. I think he's been busy with a lot of stuff offline with not comic stuff, but he's an Australian. He used to hang out with Michael Bancroft. He did this YouTube tutorial. It's just like on crowdfunding. I still point people to it all the time. Like it's the formula outside of the YouTube section, which is where I like sports. Michael Jordan, they told him he was terrible with 3-pointers.
Yeah.
Like, so he went and shot 3-pointers all the day long and got it to where he added the 3-point shot to his game. So
yeah, that sounds like Jordan.
So if you like, if I see a strength, like, look, I'm 5'7", I will never dunk a basketball without a trampoline. It just didn't happen.
Right.
I looked at that deficiency with the YouTube, what I can do, and poured my energy and effort and knowledge into the things that I knew I could do.
Yes.
Like, you ever seen this is a tangential point. You ever seen the 40-year-old version?
Yeah.
When he's talking about, he said, "You gotta accent your highlights, baby. You should see this right here. Think it's all accident?
Yeah.
It's all premeditated. All of it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
you have
he's
to
right.
have
He's
business sense. You have to have marketing, at least a little bit of marketing savvy. And for God's sakes, and I hope he knows he's not watching, bro.
Yeah.
At least look at your tweets and make it look like you speak English as a first language. I know Twitter, and I know a lot of people don't like to pay for Twitter. That's cool.
Yeah.
I do it for
same.
promotional reasons. I'll write it off as a marketing expense.
Any edge you can get, you know, if there is one. Yeah.
Just delete that tweet and write another one. Don't be lazy and stupid. Yeah. Especially when you're tagging legends, you moron.
That's true.
Another thing.
You don't want to typo. They're like, oh, okay, moving on. You know?
So you have to be able to work with what you have.
Yeah.
I had a modest, I paid a lot of things out of pocket on the first one, and I didn't make any money. People look at that total. I'm like, I didn't make any money because of all startup costs. With like, you got to start an LLC. You don't have to. I just did because I took this seriously because it was something I really wanted to do, and I had a long conversation with my wife that I feel like I'm still having.
Yeah.
About doing this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it, you know, because
you gotta have dedication. You have to, like I tell people all the time, and I'm not bullshitting you. You have to want it.
Mm-hmm. My wife is my most avid supporter.
That's great. That is great because you have to have that, or you're not going to have this. Yeah. It's going to be one or the other. I've almost seen it rip people apart in 2.5 years.
Yeah,
has it caused a strain on me and my wife? Yes. But at the end of the day, she knows it's important to me, and I guess sometimes she sees the look in my eyes when I talk about it, or like, there's some of the people that I've talked to, or some of the compliments. Like, a lot of people, they'll get the books and don't read them, which is fine. Yeah, it's still money. I still get your money. Yeah, there's people that, have bought the first 2 books on each campaign and still haven't read them. That's fine. You're going to read them eventually, and you're going to love them.
I think this is one of the last things that could tear us apart, though. We've been through lifetimes of shit. So
yeah,
this is nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see. I mean, it's a big deal to some people. A lot is a big deal to some
So like I can't do YouTube. So like when I'm on a stream, I'm not just like, I can turn it on because I have people skills. So like I can talk to people. I've briefed generals in a battlefield. Not while bombs are going off, like not like fucking you know what I mean? Like in a literal, but not like a wars happening, like bombs shooting behind me. It's not like that.
Yeah. Not like Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, no, I wasn't in Normandy.
Right.
I was in other places. But where was I going with that?
Oh, your speaking skills, your people person.
Oh yeah, people skill. But so like I can talk to people.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm hustling people, but people are buying your personality here. But just be you. That's I mean, these would be my be you, be a better version of you, but don't be a fake version of you. People can
transparency.
People can see it, especially the people who watch all these streams all the time.
Like and you know, especially comic fans, you know what I mean? Think about it. These are people who really just love visually digesting and analyzing panel by panel, right? So they'll do that to you as a person. They'll do that to your character. You know, they'll analyze everything about.
They'll clip you hard.
Yeah.
They'll clip you around here.
Yeah.
Like
being a people person helps, you know.
Like this dude just said, I don't SD, I don't suck D, but he just said, somebody just put, they said it's not like I suck dick, but they clipped out the first part. And they just kept saying it, and he kept pissing them off. I'm like,
yeah.
And that right there, it's like the troll stuff too. I can do it because I'm in my early 40s. Do you think being on the internet and trolling me? Do you think in your early 20s, in your mid 20s, you think you're getting at me? Like I've been doing this shit since you were in diapers, just not typing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I look at people in their face like a man, and I would tell them that to their face, and I will make them go, "Yeah, you're right."
It's crazy how different they act when it's face to face.
A keyboard ranger. Well, I may know a guy that has a ranger tab.
Keyboard ranger, yeah.
I mean,
keyboard warrior.
I'll shut you down, man.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'll admit it. It happens.
Yeah, same.
I'm not going to say it doesn't happen often. I wasn't going to say that, but it happens.
One thing I've noticed coming into the whole indie sphere is transparency.
Nobody likes to be wrong.
Nobody does. You got to have an open mind and a humble heart, and
especially men.
Yes, because when men are wrong, they feel, you know, there's like this weak perception. But I've noticed that like transparency has seemed to really pay off for like most indies I've seen, like really just like talking about the real shit, you know.
Hojo built his house out of bricks.
I thought this was a special game. It's just a deck of cards with different authors on.
Yeah, it's just an author playing card deck. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
There's some cool ones in there too, and each one has art. It's cool, Hojo. We picked this up at. Let me see.
Mark Twain is on the aces.
We picked this up at a garage sale. Check this shit out. Each card is like
right on.
If I can get the camera to do it.
Oh, I read that book.
Yeah, it comes with like the art, and it has like a little book on it and stuff like that. Like one of the books that they've read or written.
God, my friend just mentioned something about Mark Twain on Father's Day. It's like
I heard like a really.
It's like a quote. He said, like, the older I got, the more I realized how smart my father was.
Yeah.
Because when you're told all this stuff when you're a kid, you're like, man, shut up.
Yeah.
Oh man, I know, because my oldest is 6, and I tell him this and be like, I know that. And I'm like, boy, you better stop it.
Yeah, you'll see.
But I was proud of him today. Like just a year ago, he was like super scared of the water and like didn't really like swimming. The day he was jumping off the diving board.
Oh,
nice. I did like 20 times. I was like, that's all.
That's what's up.
How old are they?
6 and 3.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Our 2.5, or
about 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5-year-old is experiencing like he tasted chocolate and ice cream for the first time. Like today, for example, it was just the ice cream. I was just sharing little tiny bites of my ice cream with him, and then he was just after it was all gone. He saw that it was all gone. I showed him. He saw it whittling down. He kept looking in there and seeing how much was left. And once it was gone, you know, he followed me all the way to the sink when I was bringing the cup over there. And he's like, and I ran water in there. He's like, ah! He just started throwing a fit. He's like didn't understand, and I'm just like, yeah.
He's had chocolate before, but like, you know, the chocolate icing on a donut or part of a cookie, but he's never had straight chocolate bar. So they were selling some at the store where it's like $1 for some literacy fundraiser or something. So I got one, and so I broke it up. So there was like 4 cubes. So I had one on my way home, and then Andy and I each had one, and he wanted to try one. So I'm like, fine. So I gave him a cube, and it had the caramel in it. And he lost his mind so bad that I actually went and got a couple more, but not like I was only going to give him another like cube or 2.
Yeah.
And he kept doing it. And I was like, well, I don't want to enable him and show him that I'm just going to give in to him when he's acting like that. But he was losing his mind. And I'm like, well, if he loves it that much, like, I'm like, you're going to get sick because. So we got him back from Andy's brother and his wife one week, and they're like, he wouldn't stop eating, and he was eating McDonald's cookies and this and that. I'm like, jeez, and he was up all night throwing up, you know. So I'm like, Booba, you're gonna be throwing up if this is all you want to eat, and you're gonna eat so much of it, like you're gonna get sick. It's too much sugar. And I think he ended up having like 4 little squares of it. So that's a lot. It's like a whole candy bar for his little butt.
Yeah.
And the next morning he felt like shit, and he was like almost
he was like, hungover.
Yeah,
for sure.
He almost threw up one time.
Yeah.
And then so I thought like, okay, now you understand, right?
And he does. Yeah.
Yeah, no, until I got the chocolate bar again that night, and then he was losing his mind again. I'm like, no, we're not doing it again. You're gonna
start doing this number.
Yeah,
rolling around on the ground. Yeah.
I like we've, you know, he's obviously 2, so he has tantrums, but it was nothing. Nothing on the scale. It was wild.
Oh my God. The tantrums for my 3-year-old just kicked into fucking
really. This isn't even the
really?
Worst of it, Hojo. Jeez.
No.
Oh my God. He like
say terrible 2s. I'm like, no, it's terrible 3s and 4s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
dude.
sure.
Like, I mean, like we were in Tennessee, we're in a restaurant. Like, he couldn't have some kind of like freaking purple Airhead. And man, he just kept saying, I want it. And it just kept, I don't know. It started, she had to remove him. And she's like, are you going to do something? I was like, I'm a white male. I can't yell at my child in a restaurant.
It's so true.
And she was just like, we were in Tennessee. I was like, good point.
Yeah, it's a good
yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
I was like, just take it outside. I'm watching it. It was actually like a college baseball was on. So I was like, you need to get that. I'm trying. I can't. She's like,
turn that TV up.
She's like, you're unbelievable. I was like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Get him out of here. But man, but like he just started the stomping.
Yeah.
And like oh man, he won't stop. He's like, I want it. Like last night, he's like, I want a gummy. I was like, you can't have no gummies. You can eat this dinner.
Yeah.
I'll give you 5 gummies. He's like, I want 5 gummies. And he's like,
oh my
no,
God,
eat your dinner. He's like, he kept saying, I want 5 gummies. And I just looked at him. I was like, if you don't start eating this food, I'm going to take you into your bed right now and take all of your stuffed animals and put them in the trash. And he was, but it still didn't work.
He still wanted 5
but
gummies.
no, he looked at her and said, I want 5 gummies. And I was like, I just looked at her. I was like, well, I'm going to eat my food. My job is done. I'm not going to do anything. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
No. He's like, take my stuffed animals and give me an extra gummy.
Yeah.
Because my mother, she was like, you didn't
make it 6.
She was like, I was like, I'm about to smack it because I have a thing like I'm not gonna give my child a spanking until they're in kindergarten because there's that line between 4 and 5 where they just grow up so fast.
Yeah.
Prepare.
Well, and when there's that young, they don't understand and they can't be reasoned.
Yes, I know, because I'm like, he's potty training now because like you have to still take him to the bathroom. I'm like, let's go to the bathroom. He's like, no, I'm flipping out. I'm like, oh my God. Mm-hmm. And I just told my mom, I was like, I'm about to smack his ass. She's like, you never got whippings. You didn't even get him when you were young. I was like, are you senile already? Are you not there?
My mom does that too. She just conveniently forgets some shit.
What?
Like, are you kidding me, Mom?
I was like, you don't remember that little thin Coach belt? Are you out of your mind? The thin was worth the worst. I said, like every time I think of that, I reach like to the back, right above the back of my knee, and I'm like, oh,
you still feel it, still burns.
Oh, God. But I totally.
That makes me so sad.
Yeah,
for baby Hojo.
Baby Hojo. Yeah.
Oh no, he's fine. He's gonna get over it. And he's got no choice. Because that's what I told him. I was like, he doesn't want to like. He wants mom.
No, I mean like baby you.
Baby
your
you.
legs.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm talking like when I was like 6.
Yeah.
6'7". I wasn't a baby. No, like I said, I deserve
No,
it.
that's
I
a
still-
baby. No, you don't deserve it. No. Okay, well, we can argue about that.
Oh, it's
some
like that's a country whooping, honey.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, that
Yeah.
they well, I really deserved it. I stole something, and then I
Okay.
lied about it, and then I blamed it on somebody else.
Okay. Yeah.
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 So I got it.
No,
I
little
deserved it. I
kids,
deserved
like,
it. She took my Nintendo away.
No, little kids are schemers, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
get
was
Uh,
right in the middle of an epic Legend of Zelda run.
oh,
I had
no.
ripped out all these notebook pages and made my own map of the entire thing because I couldn't. That game is hard for a 7-year-old.
It is. Yeah.
It's
You get
hard
stuck.
for a 42-year-old. I tried playing it not too long ago. I was like, I couldn't find the dock.
Yeah.
I gave up.
Yeah. DNF.
Yeah, I'm done.
Uh,
But yeah, that's me. Like, you have to be entertaining. You have to be engaging. You have to pay attention. Like, there's another key to this, a key to me, I guess, on how I did what I did. When I show up in chats, do you think some people know me?
oh no.
What?
There's some people that are like, I don't know who that guy is. I'm sure.
Okay, there are a lot of people, but I
Yeah.
go to a lot of channels. If I don't have a YouTube channel, I go to, say, I can think of 20 different channels right now I can go to where there would be at least, not necessarily the host. I'm not that big, but there'd be 1 or 2 people in the chat. When I started this like a year into releasing my first book, going up to that was all getting in chats. You have to get in the chat. That's part of the Rob Arnold's Google Docs and his YouTube series on crowdfunding.
Yeah.
Is you have to get in the chat. The chat is the lifeblood of all of this. That's what
Yeah.
some people don't realize. And some hosts don't realize. Don't be an asshole to your chat. Don't get drunk and deranged people for being themselves or for just stop.
Yeah.
Anyway, minor gripe.
Yeah.
oh,
I get
for
along.
every
I get along with a lot of people, but I won't get along to get along, and I'm not going to be fake.
Exactly.
I just wanted to say for the listeners we have that Evely was talking about. Okay, what did he say?
I had to get spanked before he finally learned. Yeah.
No, about the hockey. My right shoulder is still fucked up.
Oh,
10 years
God.
after a cop literally last named a hammer hip checked me.
Oh.
Clicks when I do push-ups.
Clicking hip.
Bro wore a mirrored visor like he was Pavel or something.
Oh,
And
what?
I said, you lose teeth in hockey, not eyeballs.
Yeah.
And then he also said, with you, Hojo, I had to get spanked a fair amount before I finally learned it. And I'm not even
I did too.
convinced that he has learned.
Yeah, probably not.
We never really...
Bat Sauce says, good thing I'm never wrong. No comment.
Yeah. Yeah. We never stop learning.
I'll ask Lady Bats about that.
I try to learn something every day. You know,
dude.
It's the nerd in me, or I guess it's just it's a soul wandering through this world, just trying to make the most of it. You know, try to learn, like Jim Valvano who was they call him Jimmy V, like Jimmy V Foundation's like cancer. He died of cancer. He gave this famous speech at the ESPYs where he said, like, don't give up, don't ever give up. But he said this thing, there's like these three things you try to do every day, which is like try to laugh every day and try to cry every day, try to love something every day. I can't remember it all, but like I try to add on to that. I try to learn something. I try to even on Twitter, like I try to say something or find something nice to share. It's some people think it's lame. They're like, it's fucking internet, man. Who cares? I'm black-pilled. I'm pretty black-pilled too.
Yes.
But I mean, I still try to be a good person.
You gotta try, man. You gotta try. Can't win if you don't
You
play.
can't be a salty asshole all the time. I mean, I am a lot of the times, but it rubs off on people, and they're just like, I just don't want to deal with that cat anymore. He's always a bitch.
There is a point where
he's a letdown.
Yeah, there is a point where people don't really want to. They're like, okay, yeah, we get it. You're a downer. You know what I mean? So you don't want to just like drag other people's attitude down. Yeah. So there's like that point,
I try to be happy.
Yeah, exactly. There's a little cynicism though is fine.
Oh no, I'm very cynical.
A little. Oh
You've
yeah.
seen some of my comments on like all the stuff that's coming out. I've just gotten to the point where I don't care anymore. Like they're like, Ryan Gosling's going to be Ghost Rider. I don't care.
Same. I'm not going to watch it. Not for me. That's what
No,
they
it
say.
was for me. I love Ghost Rider. He's in he's in Hulk's #1. I haven't streamed in so long I can't remember to do that.
Right.
But Ghost Rider's up there, dude. He was my man, like the Danny Ketch, especially like the early '90s, like Mike Teixeira. That's when I really got
Chimes. Love it.
like early '90s, like because I'm 42, so like the Image thing happened when I was like 10, 11.
Yeah.
Pretty big. And like that's when most comic fans get locked into comics. Like that's the average age, I think 11, 12 years old, right? And so when that happened, like art was the thing, not really the story with Image, right?
Yeah.
But that's when I started discovering like God was it? He did the Max, Sam Keith.
Okay. Yeah.
He's got a very, very unique. He has a beautiful Batman, like these real big, bulky hands, and like he did. Some people say him and between him and the guy who I can't think of his name either. It's been a long day. They say he did one of the best Wolverines ever, except for I keep wanting to say Daniel Warren Johnson, but that's the guy who does Transformers. But he did the Weapon X back in the '80s. The name will come to me later.
Nah,
But it's when I started really becoming interested in art because like I can draw, I'm slow, and I'm not technically sound enough to be, like I can draw, I can color like I colored this for the backers.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but so I started really becoming, I was in the Art Honor Society. Like I'm a decent sculptor, at least I guess I used to be, but I became interested in other forms of comic art that was just like different, So I started getting into like Barry Windsor Smith. That's who it was for Wolverine, but like Sam Keith, and so I started going back and looking at the different EC horror. And that's when I discovered Vertigo, but Ghost Rider had just I had some old Ghost Rider like from the '70s. It was just like they were cool, but they were a little campy for the time because it was the '70s,
70s, yeah.
But Tomb of Dracula, the Tomb of Dracula is harsh, man. I have every issue. That's great. I would love to see something like that on screen. But so I knew Ghost Rider, Werewolf by Night, Moon Knight, all that. But they did the Danny Ketch thing, and that was Teixeira, and I was just like, man, this is beautiful. And that's just what started like my whole, I guess, odyssey to find different comic books. 2000 AD, like I didn't know that Judge Dredd, I didn't know that existed until I was about like 10 years old, like when right before the Sylvester Stallone movie came out.
Yeah.
So, but
what do you think of the new Dredd?
Oh, the one with Carl Urban?
I think so. There's like new one. It has Queen Cersei in it or whatever. The queen from 300 has her in it. Yeah. It's like a modern version, they're all slow-mo and stuff, and it was pretty
Oh,
cool.
no, I haven't seen it. No.
I think it's just Dredd. I can't remember. It might be Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just, and I guess like I'm a horror fan too. Like I just don't want to be. I do have a horror story in another upcoming like an anthology thing, and the Mythicals is a horror oriented, but I mean that's not all I can write. I've like that Justin Belmont guy I was talking about. I have we were just talking today. I did a comedy, like a 12-page for him.
Yeah.
So that's a chance for me to stretch my legs with that.
I did notice
fantasy stuff.
Sick. I did notice that there is a lacking in the indie sphere of comedy, and horror actually. So I would say it would also be okay after you have fun with the comedy. It's okay to like lean into the horror, like you said, stick into like what and what. You write with what you're interested in, right? Like I was talking to like if you're a prose writer, once you like I've read a lot of books and then I've tried to write books, but like Stephen King in his On Writing book, he said if he reads Lovecraft, his prose becomes luxurious and Byzantine, with all these great words, and it just flows and locks. Lovecraft can't write dialogue. No.
But
I understand that. I relate to that.
That is
I can
a whole different
I can write dialogue, but I have to go into a flow state to do it, dude. I can't like plan dialogue because think about it, like you're planning what people are saying, and when people speak, they feel, you know what I mean? So you're like, it's no.
People say that my dialogue in my books are my strength because it's like it felt real. That's a couple things because I was an only child. I watched a lot of movies. I was in the drama club, but it was mostly for the chicks. But like I do act because I've read these books with my sons so many times. I get so bored. And I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. The little blue truck said beep boop beep boop. So now I'll do them with accents. I'll do impressions because I've been doing that my whole life.
We do that with Booba
when I was
too.
a kid.
Yeah.
My famous, my best one, my favorite one to do is I'll do William Shatner. I'll do Captain Kirk doing whatever book I'm reading, or I'll do like or I'll do the Doughboy from Pillsbury, or whatever they want. Really, it doesn't matter. But,
you can lean into the silly accents.
I can pretend to, like I have a British guy and I have a harlot. I have a have a new girl, which I'm not saying I know what it's like to be a new girl, but I know what it's like to be a new guy.
Yeah.
And one of my last jokes of the evening, when people say like, "Well, you're a man. How can you write a woman? How can you get inside her head?" I've been inside many women.
I also have a female protagonist, by the way.
Yeah. So I mean, but like you said, marketability.
Yeah.
Buffy resonated with a lot of people, men and women, just because, like, the same way Ellen Ripley, and Sarah Connor,
Princess Leia, even
all of them. Strong women in comic books and media. It's nothing new. You're not breaking any ground. You're just tearing something down.
And vandalizing. But,
so what I decided to do is like, all right, I'm just gonna a super team. I had a checklist of things I wanted to achieve. This whole thing is really plotted out. I've been ahead of the game, so I think I had a lot of a head start on a lot of people, because I had most of this done. 6 issues written. 13 already plotted. It's already plotted out to the end. I'm fixing these other scripts as I go along.
Sick.
So I could come back so early with issue 2. And that's why in the end of August, issue 3, August 23rd, it's the first time I've really announced it, August 23rd. I already have a trailer, both covers are being colored. So I'm ahead of the game because the script is already done. I don't have to keep working through things and rewrites and stuff like that. And then getting him to change his panel, looking at things. My inker is now my visual editor because it's just easier, so I gave him a little bit more money to do that and deal with the pencils. Had to change pencils again on the 3rd issue because my competition was DC Comics. I can't pay him what he's paying to write this silly little or draw this silly little title called Superman.
Yeah.
So when he told me that, I was like, dude, if you just don't want to be on the book anymore, just say it.
Yeah.
He sent me a screenshot, and I had to keep it silent for this whole time, knowing that I have to change artists, and I had to scramble and find another guy. And my inker and me are like, we're actually friends now, Like we talk about non-comic shit, where it's not just a business relationship. Because he's a big Rush fan, I'm a Rush fan, and we listen to a lot of the same music. We like a lot of the same comics.
Like Rush, like the band?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, I've seen them several times.
Yeah, I saw them on their R30 tour. That's the only time I've ever seen them. So,
that's awesome.
Yay. There's a big Rush poster right over there. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
And so, like, we talk about music and, like, we'll send each other, like, band stuff. And, we talk, he's got kids. And it's cool and add to the horror aesthetic that is South River Studios. He owns a funeral parlor.
Yeah.
Have you read
a shade of funeral parlors? I didn't know they did that in Brazil.
Have you read any of Neil's books?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The one where he went across about the motorcycle.
Yeah, Ghost Rider.
Yeah, because of his daughter or whatever.
Yeah, his daughter and wife passing. Yeah, so sad. Like it was.
He didn't want to play music anymore.
Yeah. Heartbreaking. But
I kind of like it's funny. I actually quoted him today with Aldous, the guy I was telling you about. We talk a couple times a week, because we're attuned. We have a lot of the same opinions on a lot of things, and we enjoy some of the same interests. But today we were talking about fame or whatever. He's like, I guess the whole Nick Rekieta thing. I'm sure everybody's aware.
Oh yeah.
I said, dude, I said, man, fame. I said, I don't want that shit. I said, adulation, adoration. I don't want that. I said, I just want respect. I just want, or not really respect. I just want people to enjoy my stories and the people, to
Leave something behind.
people's, and
culture.
Sometimes it's like my kids be like, my daddy did that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's
like in
where
the
I'm
newspaper. Look, I'm on my daddy's in the newspaper. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was like, brother, I said fame, that has never interested me one bit. Like the YouTube thing, like the whole clout, like we were talking in the back room, like it changes you. And he said, and that's like, and strangers like coming up and acting like they're your friends, like these parasocial relationships, and like I said, I can't pretend a stranger is a long-awaited friend, and that's what like that song Limelight. That's all about like fans and him just like being like, I just want to go to my hotel room and watch The Twilight Zone.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
because they were nerds. Rush were nerds.
The universal dream, like not for me. It's not.
Yeah, I don't like. I live when I tell people on the internet, I'm like, I'm a quiet, I keep to myself, and I tell my wife that. She's like, so what do you tell people? I said, like, I just tell people I'm a normal person. I'm quiet. She's like, you're not quiet. I was like, that's because you're my wife. I said, but try to be halfway professional. And I talk to a lot of people. I consider a lot of people my friends, but I'm not interested in, like, if the Mythicals blows up, which I don't know what I would do. Like if somebody's like, and I can easily see this being a Netflix series down the road. I don't think so. Like I'm sure Brian Pulido, they're constantly at him about turning Lady Death or something into some kind of feature or something. Brian, don't do it, dude.
Right.
Make your money, do your stories. Well, I don't think Lady Death is him. He just has the rights. I don't think I could do that. Like Mark Miller, he's the last one to ever get the kind of deal that he got.
Yeah.
Because he has Mark Miller, he owns and he has control over pretty much everything. They can't do shit without him. Like, and Netflix gave him a lot of money.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever get that deal again.
Yeah. I would be willing to take a lower budget in exchange for.
Oh yeah. Creative control. Like I'm a. Don't rip me for it, people. Like I was a big Soundgarden fan in the '90s. Like I went to high school in the '90s. Black Hole Sun was an awesome song. Deal. But when they got their first record deal, like it was crazy. They got full creative control, and they're like, that was unheard of for a band like that. But they straight up told him, like, we'll just go somewhere else. We'll do it somewhere else.
Yeah.
If you want it that bad, you're going to take it, and we'll give you the best thing we can.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Let me give you what I have. I don't need your input. I'll take your advice, solicit it or not, but it's up to me at the end of the day. If we think Nancy Moon should be played by, like, okay, show me a bunch of pictures and I'll be there on the auditions. I want to see it. Well, that's not how this works. Well, then it's not going to work.
Right. Yeah, back in my heyday,
I wanted DeLorean to go back to 1977 to kidnap Debbie Harry from Blondie, dye her hair, brainwash her, and make her think she's from this time, and then put her on the screen. That's what I want you to do. Because that's what I envisioned when I came up with the concept art.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah.
So that's really what I want, but I can't have that.
Right. Yeah, back in the day, my bands had to turn down a contract or two from some labels. Just it's like by the end of it, you're lucky if you get like 10%. It's pretty wild.
Some people want to or have to take the money, and that's fine. Do your thing. I'm a capitalist at the end of the day.
Yeah. You can make more yourself though if you're smart.
But sometimes it's just not for me. Like I say all the time, like YouTube just sometimes not for me.
Yeah.
Like I don't do much. I got this stream. I got one. Like I haven't streamed since the beginning of June. June 1st, June 2nd. I was on with Audis. We did like a little closeout. It was just really to sit back and kick it and just shoot the shit and talk and about stuff that we like.
Yeah,
That's it.
Exactly.
Like I like to talk about things I like.
Yeah, that's the thing to focus on too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, it's fun to drop in a thread every now and then and be like,
yeah, like the Star Wars Acolyte.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I've said a few things. I've said ha 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 to a lot of things because I point laughing. I'm a Star Trek fan. I've been through this shit already.
Yeah, not gonna dwell on it though.
Because the Star Wars fans, you guys were just trying to talk a lot of shit back when we're like, oh, you got J.J. Abrams. Look what he did in Star Wars. A couple years later, I'm like,
look where we're
Jar Jar Abrams, huh? How's that fucking working out? And then it just now I'm still like, yeah, we had Discovery and Picard, but I feel like they course corrected at the end of Picard. It was just too late by then.
Yeah. That was an interesting thing to see everybody suddenly support it again.
Yeah,
it was
but
weird.
They really pulled it up, but I still think they just scraped the bottom and just everybody slowly died in the plane.
Great way to put it.
But there's another one, I guess, where they just I don't know what it's called anymore. Was it New Frontier or something like that? Frontiers, but it's like it's got Spock and Captain Pike. But I've heard good things, but I've heard bad things. So that's usually somewhere in between. I'm so behind on things like I've been watching Shogun. I'm only a couple episodes in.
It's good.
It's cool, but like my wife can't not look away. You know what I'm saying? Because she has to read the subtitles. Usually she tries to multitask. She'll kind of like halfway watch something and listen. I'm like, all right, if you don't know Japanese, you might want to pay attention. I didn't know it was all going to be in Japanese, but like the last episode, I'm like, can we get more of the English guy just so I can get more English? And I can kind of like do a little something while I'm just kind of like halfway watching.
I'm assuming he'll be like a major thing throughout. I don't know much about the source material.
I heard the book was great.
Yeah, and I actually saw some other indie authors like, oh, I hope they're doing this good. I'm gonna watch it. That's how I heard of it. I actually saw other indies tweeting about and I'm like, what show? What book? What?
I mean, I'm sure. I would think it should get an Emmy for costume, set design, all of that. Visually, it's almost at like feature film level.
I think accuracy to the source material should be a freaking category in these Emmys and Oscars and shit.
It can't be because no one would win.
Exactly. And maybe people will start winning if they kind of
should just go up there and when the category comes up, they should just on the screen show a picture of John Travolta from Pulp Fiction going.
Yeah. And for every year until they correct their course. Like
I can't believe I just used that. I hate that movie. I hate Tarantino.
Oh, you don't like the
I've been in like, dude, I was just saying I like to be positive. I've been in so much negativity and it was over one comment and somehow suddenly everything has been pointing to I've been comparing things about Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino knows how to make movies. I just don't like the movies he makes. I don't like Pulp Fiction except for Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
I really think he's overrated too.
Yes. He's the most overrated director of my lifetime.
Yeah, and what's that other movie that he had where there was literally no point but to have somebody being like microwaved in that fucking box? What was it?
I don't know. I like Jackie Brown is his only good movie.
Was it
like
Reservoir Dogs? I want to say.
I hate Reservoir Dogs after the breakfast.
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, like it's just not good. I think they're highly overrated.
I didn't watch Hateful Eight. I didn't watch Inglourious Basterds just because I don't like Kill Bill. I watched the first one and like I was just with a girl and I was just like, just get through this. I don't want to walk out because I don't want her to think I'm some kind of big asshole. I'd be like, come on, we're leaving. This is fucking stupid. Because if it had been my wife, bro, out, gone, done.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. You watch Kung Fu, so you think you're just gonna make. Oh, I'm just gonna make a Kung Fu movie. Guess what? I'm just gonna use a bunch of actors that I use because it's gonna be cool. But guess what? It's got this awesome slow mo and it's gonna have a great soundtrack because I am Quentin Tarantino, and I have these little cool quippy lines, and it's great. You're gonna love it. And guess what? I'm gonna make a shitty sequel too.
I think that Inglourious Basterds was the only one I remotely enjoyed, to be honest.
And they said he wanted to make a Star Trek film. Fuck you, dude.
I heard about that.
You stay away. Get your feet away.
Rated R Star Trek.
Rated F for feet.
Yeah, dude.
He's
They'd have some
anti-Rob
Borg feet,
Liefeld if you've ever read comic books.
some Borg feet up in there.
Oh man, God!
Resistance is futile.
Like it's like he takes a genre. He's like, how can I fuck this up? He's only good. Here's the thing. He's only good. All right, I got something for you, Bat Sauce. He's only good when he's paired with Robert Rodriguez. When they're split apart, they're dog shit. They can't. They're symbiotic. They can't survive because they keep each other in check.
That's fair. Sometimes,
perfect example is Dusk Till Dawn, and guess what? He gives all of himself. When Quentin Tarantino will insert himself into his movies, which I don't know if he still does, he'll give himself the best lines. I
mean,
I can't say it on YouTube without us getting canceled. The scene in Pulp Fiction where he's talking with Samuel L. Jackson about, Jules, did you see a sign out on my lawn that said dead storage? I don't think so, because it's not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the best line in the movie.
There's so many good
Samuel L.
lines.
Jackson's good in that movie.
There's so many good lines. That movie is actually, it's not famous for the plot or anything. It's famous for literally the dialogue and the screenplay. That's why you study Pulp Fiction.
I don't like his non-linear. They call it the Tarantino effect, the non-linear storytelling. I don't need the same movie from everybody's point of view. That's all you're doing. You're taking 25 minutes and you're doing it from everybody else's point of view. What happened in that day? I don't care. Just tell me. Can you give me a beginning, a middle, and an end? I don't like to do that. I like to do like I'll do like the beginning, middle. I guess what they call it, rise in action, climax, and I bring you down. I don't take you straight down to the end. I hate that. I bring you down a little slowly. But at the end of my books, I always leave you at the last couple pages where you're like, "Oh, this is great. Oh, this is awesome. The book's over. Son of a bitch." I gotta have the next one.
I'm kind of like developing something with that. And real quick, by the way, yes, Bat Sauce, I agree. Inglourious Bastards is very good.
I went on a rant.
No, we love rants here. We need more rants. But like, yeah, if you ever give another Tarantino movie a shot, I'd say Inglourious Bastards, bro.
My buddy really wanted me to go see it, and I feel bad because he passed away. I should have gone.
Like out of all of them, Hateful Eight is cheesy in comparison. Like they're all cheesy in comparison.
Like Django Unchained, just the trailer. The trailer alone makes me. I'm just like, yeah, this is retarded.
Yeah, so they're all cheesy in comparison.
He's still doing it. Like, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Listen to this. I watched that movie on accident. Didn't know that was his movie.
Oh shit!
Until probably towards the end, I'm like, I thought. Why did you change her getting killed anyway? The man said, like, why did you try to rewrite history and try to slip that in? Was that whole thing an acid trip? That whole part with the cigarette and stuff? I'm like, one, I'll tell you something there, QT. When you do LSD, I don't know if smoking it like actually does work. I've taken LSD more than 10 times. Let's just say that. Right. Ballpark figure between 10 and 50 times.
I wouldn't say 10 for me, but yeah,
I've done it. I've done a lot. I've seen Fish 14 times. If you know who that band is,
okay, that'll do it.
Yeah,
that'll do it.
I've seen Government Mule, fucking Widespread Panic, all of them, baby.
Well, I should have known when you said Rush like that. There you go. Yeah.
I've got. We can have a whole other conversation on my eclectic musical taste. You should see my playlist.
This could be a music podcast for sure. Yeah.
So, where were we going?
LSD, smoking.
LSD.
Yeah.
Dude, it don't hit you that fast. It don't You're not just. Even if you take like a microdose on your eye or something. Even in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, when he spills it on his skin and then walks out and it starts hitting him, it don't hit you that fast. Probably 20 minutes at the least. It don't happen. And so
yeah, it takes like 15 minutes sometimes. Like it has to absorb and
and
like go into your brain. Yeah.
It's not but
it's not like it touched my eye. I'm crazy now.
Like that's I think the coolest the only parts that I remember that movie where I was just like, yeah, that's pretty good. That's funny. Is like that scene where Brad Pitt just like punches that dude right there. That's cool. And then the part where I don't even know Leo's character. I don't know anybody's character is when he's like making fun of himself about the commercials. Like, fucking bitch. God damn it. He's over there and he's like, these fucking cigarettes taste like fucking shit. But other than that, it was about 15 minutes before the movie's over. I looked at my wife. I was like, this movie's kind of dumb. I said, it's really dumb. Why are we watching this?
Why did Brad Pitt do it?
I said, it looks like a half-assed Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
And and lo and behold, well, son of a bitch, you
Yeah,
did it again. You made me think that somebody was trying to rip you off, and you just did an impression of yourself by being even more retarded than what you normally are.
right. And
Oh,
it's like it comes off
because
cheesy,
people
right?
are going to come after me and chop off my feet.
Nah, you're fine.
No, he
We're
has
all
a foot
entitled to
fetish.
our.
No, he'll do it.
But
Let's say
like,
Harvey Keitel's broke ass. I mean, old ass. You know, I fix things. You ain't fixing shit, old man. But that broken hip, why don't you try to get a hold of me?
for real. Real quick, Evely, the new host of Iron Age Nights, he says he had a similar experience with his buddy. Him and his buddy wanted to go see
That's
Django.
crazy.
Yeah, and then his buddy passed when he didn't go see it, so he regrets it. It's
God,
weird.
His
Yeah.
name wasn't Stacy, was it?
Oh, that would be even weirder. But I was
Oh.
going to say earlier, Tarantino actually, I think he was just trying to, once he realized he was in the zeitgeist, I think from there he was like, I need to have a thing.
Yeah.
And my thing is going to be the Tarantino effect, which is what you were talking about.
No, that's what I do.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Chew your gum.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool though. I mean, we can agree to disagree on certain things. At the end of the day, we can still have a beer and go watch something else that we do like. That's my philosophy on things.
Exactly.
I still haven't seen the second Dune. I've been told by my friend who read the books as well as I, and he's like, you might not want to go. You might want to just save it for when it's free. And I was like, yeah, but it's got to be good because it's Dennis Villeneuve. I don't know how to say it, Villeneuve, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, it's great visually. Like, it looks great. He knows how to make a film. And Hans Zimmer's script, on the first Dune movie, like Hans Zimmer's like it was a little much for me. Like, I feel like it was just all these like like it was like, listen to me, this movie is awesome. I was just like in my seat, like, oh, just dial it back a little bit.
That works for Star Wars. That
Yeah.
works for Star Wars because it's a big empty space.
Yeah.
Space. That's when it works. Or like maybe under the ocean, but even then you almost have to have it feel dark and like claustrophobic almost under the ocean.
Yeah.
So there's only certain times when it's just like the big score.
I didn't need all that, man. It was just
Lord of the Rings, maybe.
Yeah, that's light though. I like that. I like Lord of the Rings.
Keep it light, yeah. Even the Shire was light, right? Like it wasn't like.
I mean, we can't agree that the Lord of the Rings trilogy is like the greatest fantasy movie of all time, right?
I mean, it's not even accurate. Here's the thing, bro. It's not even accurate to the source material, truly.
Yeah, I know.
And people still love it.
He tried to stay as true to it. I mean, it's a whole.
Yeah, no, and respected. He respected Tolkien.
Yeah.
He even made the music Catholic because he knew Tolkien was a Catholic. So think about it. Like that's kind of probably how. I mean, he's assuming a little bit, but like that's still respectful to Tolkien.
I mean, he had his son involved.
Yep.
Must be nice, but it's a shame. Like fantasy. That's as an only child, I feel like that's the first genre you gravitate to because like the Narnia books, that was my first grown-up adult or my first grown-up book series, even though it's written for children, but that was the first thing where it was like this big story and I was just like, oh man, this is so great,
the epic,
so I'd love to do that for my kids. I've been working on that for a long time, even before I had kids, but now since I've had kids it's changed. So even for the better though, I think.
Man,
but
I would absolutely love to just sit down with my son with this graphic novel and just like thumb through it with him because like dude, I try to write all my stories with family at the core. There's family in some way, right? There has to be, right? Like but this one when I reread it after the fact and sent it to some people to read and I kind of like tell me what they thought and stuff, I'm just realizing there's a whole bunch of like subconscious like fatherhood insecurities in there. Yeah, dude. It's like it's fantastic though. Like nothing I'm ashamed of at all. It's just because like I lost my dad when I was in my 20s and
oh man, I'm sorry.
But it's just weird how that stuff sticks with you. And now I'm a dad, so it's like being able to read that with him will just be something crazy. Because I do I do very much have the scene with the sons. They're all grown up, but they're like saying goodbye to their dad, and, the youngest one doesn't understand and he gets angry and just kind of walks away and fucks it up forever, and like anybody who lost their dad will read that and just kind of know. They'll just kind of know. Like, oh, he's gonna regret that, dude.
Oh yeah. I mean, boy, me and my dad, that's a long combo. We don't really speak, but hey,
Mhm.
you know, I had a great
Feel you.
I got a great uncle that was, still there. So
There you go, brother.
and I'd try to break the cycle. I'm there for my children. So
You gotta. That's all we can try to do is like always learn, like we mentioned earlier, and like any cycles that are there, just try to like break the mold in every way, like exceed expectations, basically.
And like the Mythicals, that's at the end of the day, I guess because it's like a government organization, like a task force, like it is a family. It's a found family, like for her, because and the monsters, they got no place else to go, so they you don't they say you don't choose your family. They're not here by choice. Well, they are, but they're not here to they don't really necessarily like each other all the time, right?
Right, dude. And
So
like
that makes for great dialogue. That makes for great situations when you have a talking cat that's just cannot stand any of these people who would just want to be in his library reading. That's all he wants to do. That's all he wants to do. But like they say, when you have a cat, you're their pet. Well, he has about 5 or 6 pets to look after, and he doesn't want the one. So when Nancy like comes along, this is like shoved in his lap, and he's got to take care of her. He's like, oh, I don't have time for this shit. I don't get paid enough.
Bro, it's so awesome. I could just probably talk to you about this shit forever, but okay, for starters, you're kind of an example of found family in a way. Like my family in real life is, for example, not very supportive in regards of like the writing and stuff. The stigma attached to writing and making comics and like pursuing your dream, essentially.
Oh yeah.
There's the stigma. So like, I'm sure family is rarely super supportive to.
I mean, my mom, she's like, it's neat. She's like, I'll buy something from you. I'm like, did you read it? She's like, I haven't yet. That's your mother. Like, she's not. She's supportive to a point, but she's not like, where at you at the next issue. Like, she's not. No, doesn't like. Have you gotten any back from the artist lately? My wife doesn't do that.
Right,
but
and
she's starting to get it.
Yeah. And I'm just like saying, like, it's like you, for example, you have been like such a help since I first like rejoined Twitter and like came into the whole indie scene here after all that, and like everybody in the Iron Age and even a lot of Comicsgate people. Like, I kind of bleed over in a few areas here, and
my Venn diagrams it intersects with a lot of other circles.
Yeah.
Most people, it just looks like a biohazard symbol. Mine's like 16. It looks like a fucking spirograph.
The Olympics?
Mine's like a spirograph. I got a lot.
Not even the Olympics.
I'm up there, man. I get along with everybody because you have to do that if you want to build an audience and you network. Networking is very important. A lot of people, like my dad always told me, he said, and this is when I was young. He said, if you always, and it's very, now that I look back at it, very poetic when I say this. He said, if you burn all your bridges, you're going to end up on an island and you're not going to get anywhere.
Fair. Bro, that's some deep shit. I love it.
And, well, I mean, he's burned a lot of bridges, but sometimes those bridges can be rebuilt. It takes time. But I don't really have time with the way that I have it laid out because mine's different. I have 20, and this one's 26 pages. I have right now, the first book is 24 pages, is 26. I have a limited real estate. I have a floppy. People were expecting 48 plus page books. I talked, was it one of the Air July books launched today? And I asked the guy, like, how many pages? Like 72. I'm like, shit. I can't do that every 8 months.
It's rough. That's what I'm doing. I
can't chain these dudes to a desk down there. They live in another hemisphere.
Luke has a very generous sequential art price. Yep. Very generous. Yep. And it is still very, very rough. That number on my campaign pages is a challenge. It is a challenge. So,
and once the thing is, like, I set a low funding goal in order to, which I can't even remember. I'm going to have to look to see how my campaign set up now for the next one, to where once you hit your funding goal, you start getting a weekly like a payment. It's almost like a game to see how much money you can make that week to get a bigger paycheck the next week. It's almost like I look at it as like a commission check. See how many cars you can sell in that week to get that next check, and you take that check and you dump it straight into the art. That way,
right?
Because artists, here's a weird thing: is maybe people don't know, artists like to be paid, and they like to be paid on time. A lot of people like to be paid half up front.
Yes.
I don't really haggle. I pay the artist what they ask for, and if I think it's out of my price range, I'll tell them. I'm like, I'll be in touch, or hey, can't use it this time. I'm gonna keep in touch. I might use it on the next campaign, and they're gonna be like, cool. They don't care. They're professional. Most of them. Some people get a little mad and say, "When you try to ruin my business," whatever, dude. That's like another story.
But yeah, to on the subject of burning bridges, there actually is a line about that in my story. After the son says goodbye or whatever, they're like at the end of the story, and I think it is the youngest that actually ends up quoting their dad. He says, "Oh, my dad always said an orc can never drink enough blood to get drunk, only sick."
Oh, nice.
Just a weird little metaphor there about kind of like, I mean, it's more violent sounding, but like, basically burning bridges. Like if you're just aggressive all the time, you're not going to get drunk out. You're not going to get drunk that way. You got to drink ale with your bros,
That's right.
But real quick, Evely says his name was Tony, his buddy.
Okay.
He was a Marine, and And Wolfsbane Comics, he says he made the stream. Hey,
oh yeah, he just launched a book today. Good job, Aaron. He was on Bancroft. See if you can get on that.
Bancroft?
Yeah, hit him up.
I'll write it down.
Yeah, Michael Bancroft, the Lucent.
I think
the Lucent comic.
We might follow each other. I don't know.
Oh, he's a good dude.
Bigger.
One of the best dudes. That's his. That's his book right there. Where my finger is.
Oh. I've seen the Lucent around.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's hard to miss.
Yeah.
He's insane, man. He's a great dude. He's Australian. You don't have to hold that against him, but
I've seen him pop in Royce's chat a few times.
Shout outs to
Kahuna. Shout outs to Kahuna. Thank you for coming, bro. And
he'll be like drawn or something. He'll just like pop in streams on the chat.
Yeah. Peace out, Evely, by the way, also. And Kahuna, I agree. Bancroft is legit from what I've seen.
Good dude. I just talked to him today. Set up my launch date.
Oh, sick, dude.
So gotta get back on that horse, man. See, that's what I got to do. And I tell people, I'm like, you can try to emulate a lot of people. Take something from. It's like sports, man. If you see something in somebody's game, man, just try to emulate it. Don't. I mean, you could. I'm not gonna. I don't like the word use the word steal or swipe, but make it your own.
There's a meta. Man. There's a meta to sports, dude. Like there's you see the opposing football team did this. Like learn
football especially. Yeah.
Learn from it, dude.
Yeah. Adapt. I was in the Army. There was identify, adapt, overcome. I do it every day. I've changed different tactics from what I did in the first issue. Some people just can't. They can't break out of that cycle. And they're like, well, what am I doing wrong? You're not adapting. You're not seeing the trends. You're not
too rigid.
And then some people see a certain trend and they go that way, and it's not going to work out for them because they don't have the ass to handle that the blowback, I would say.
Right.
But it just have fun. I just try to tell people to have fun.
You got to be having fun. You got to enjoy it. Like that's why I kind of for as much as I preach about like hardcore 100% accuracy, I even brought it up with Lord of the Rings. Like for example, with Luke Stone, I gave him a lot of creative freedom for the story because it's just a short story. For example, I left a lot of creative freedom because I want him to have fun. So like, I say something simple like an orc, as long as it's an orc, I'm happy to have a comic. You know, so the orc, have fun drawing it, dude, in whatever cool way you imagine it from my description or whatever, you know. It'll be different when I'm animating it. That will be much different. I will be there saying, no, that's not right.
I don't want to give a spoiler, but I think like I think I saw a piece that he's working on, a panel or a piece of something that he's working on. Do you have some almost like a an Odin Viking helmet
Yeah.
looking guy. Yeah, I saw that. He's like, this is what I did today, and I messed with him and showed him like a 20-second retarded sketch I did. He was like, this took me 10 hours. I was like 90 seconds. You're working too long or something. He's just like, LOL. But yeah, I saw it, man. It's pretty tight looking. Yeah,
Thanks,
nice.
man.
Yeah. I do that sometimes with panels, like from the first book to the second book. You'll notice like you'll grow a lot on how like because if you get a layout or something or a panel, like that sounded all I visioned it in my head. It's because you didn't tell them. Then you got to go back, and he was like, "Oh man, I got to redraw this. It's going to take me." And then if they had to keep redrawing, and they're like, "All right, well, I'm going to need another $50 because this is going to take more of my time."
You want to cut that out?
Like, don't want to do that. So, but I tend to now, like, and definitely on this script, and definitely on the third one, the second one and the third one, I did go nuts on a certain panel. Fight scene. This happens. Make sure this is over here. Yeah, like to the left, I think. Other than that, I just put in bold, go nuts. They love to see that because they're like,
I will say that. I say that on one of the covers, actually.
Yeah.
In the cover prompt, I was just like, you know what? All the characters are here. So, we'll wait till the comic's a little bit more developed so that those designs are more developed. So this is like final priority or whatever. But, I don't particularly care.
Yeah,
because it is depicting a real scene. I kind of picture it's like my Last Supper moment. It's that scene I described earlier with the son saying goodbye to the king. Everybody's around him, and like one of the female orcs is like putting a crown of flowers on his head and giving him a kiss goodbye, and it's like the Last Supper, you know what I mean, kind of moment. But it doesn't really particularly matter who else is there as long as that kind of thing is happening with the chick putting the crown on his head or whatever, and everybody else kind of standing around him. So I literally, in the description, I was like, just pick the most memorable characters to you and position them however. And I was just like, just make sure it looks like this. Like I even said, kind of
sure
like the Last Supper.
Very familiar with the Last Supper.
Yeah, stuff like that too, not just the Last Supper, but like that's the most famous.
Well, no,
one.
Luke used to be a pastor. It was a joke.
100%. Yeah. And I feel kind of bad.
Like he's seen the Last Supper once or twice.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have it's interesting. I do have an orc priest in the book that he is very devout in the human gods, which in this is kind of like I've emulated like the Greeks or like kind of like those religions that kind of just have like a large pantheon. And the orcs, religions. Kind of, yeah. And the orcs are kind of like more dualism, like just life and death.
Right.
Life and death. That's all.
Like Klingons.
Hell yeah. Is that Klingon?
Yeah,
is that
pretty much.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude, sick.
Yeah.
Klingons are based.
Honor, yeah.
Yes. So this orc priest, he's kind of an asshole, and I have them treat him like shit and sent a little bit. And since the stories from one of the characters' perspectives, it's even described, the ship lurches, and I describe it as like that character fell on his priest's ass for all the good it did him, and stuff like that. And I feel kind of bad because I know he's a pastor. I'm not trying to paint anything bad because he's even like a priest, but I'm just trying to kind of world build, like showing that this is kind of like what the humans believe in and like what the versus what the orcs believe in. And I'm kind of commentating on our current state a little bit because they all end up kind of arguing over that shit, over religion. And I mean, without spoiling anything. Yeah. It's not a good thing to be arguing, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Even with the first book, because I have a character that, and like I'm a very because I can draw, like I'm not saying I can draw comics. Like I can draw pinups, I can draw Kahuna there, bought some of my concept art. But I
hell yeah.
If I really need to go Alan Moore, I don't know if you know what that means. Like I can do a whole page for one panel if I need be, if I have to. Or I can draw it for you.
Right.
Not draw it for you, but draw you what I see. Some people are like, well, I can draw stick figures, and an artist is like, that's not going to help.
Right.
I could draw only help. Like I could like. There's a page in the first Mythicals book. Shit. Hold on. There we go. Hold on 1 second.
Hail Anthony Rondinelli.
Hello. Well, you can come see this, Anthony.
Yeah.
Like this is the villain reveal for the first issue,
full
right?
Screen, yeah.
Like I thumbnailed that, all of that.
Oh, like The layout and everything. Like
yeah, like I laid it out for him. I said pretty much this. I mean, we tweaked it a little bit. He brought that panel down over top of the hat, but like I did, like if need be, I can communicate. And artists like that. They just, some people are like, sometimes they're just tell me what to draw. That's your job. So,
yeah. Some.
But like Luke, since he, like when Fun Mike, I was in the DM group that Luke said I'm gonna do a crowdfunded website, right?
Yeah.
It's great. It's so insane how it feels like less than a year, and it also feels like it's been like 5 years because all these conversations and the delays, and it was like a different code company, and then it was just didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But when I first met Luke, and I was just lucky enough to get mixed in with the crowd and got directed to him, and wrote a story for an anthology that he's got coming out, where I did like a 6-page, like it's kind of like did you see the show The Old Man with Jeff Bridges? It came out a couple years ago. You should see it. It's basically him
Bridges,
at the end. He used to be a like a CIA guy, and he's living in a town, and one day they come for him. It's like the movie Red with Bruce Willis, where they come for him, kind of like that. And then he's the whole show is him trying to like, what the fuck's going on?
Is Red retired and dangerous?
Yeah. Extremely dangerous.
Extremely dangerous. That was.
But so it's like that. So I took that, and we took all these public domain characters. I took the son of Tarzan. His name's Korak. He's public domain. I used him.
Yeah.
So I did flash forward 40 years. Tarzan's dead. He's taken it up. It's the old man Logan. It's like, but it's old man Tarzan. So it's only 12 pages. Actually, it's only 6 pages. It's only 6 pages, but it's a self-contained story where it's a day in the life. Like he wakes up and the jungle is like being invaded by the commies. It's like the mid 80s, and they're setting the jungle on fire, deforestation. He's up there looking at it, and he just says, "Not today." And he goes and cleans house, and then he goes back to his little house that's got like the Tarzan like trophies and shit, like the knife that he cut himself, and the skin of the jaguar that he killed, and there's the graves of like all of the old Tarzan characters, and there's like a villager that's trying to tell him that the old ways are gone, and he's like, "I'll never leave. This is my home." And then he calls the animals. Oh man, it's fucking great. I can't. It's been so long because there were all these delays with him building Fund My Comic. Yeah. But that was a long way of me saying, like, I showed this to him.
Yeah.
Peter Gilmore did this, right?
Right.
If you're a very religious person, you're gonna look at that and be like, "Oh man, I can't get behind it. I can't." And that said, I was like, "Look, dude, being what you do for a living, how do you feel about this? What do you say?"
Right.
He's like, right. Well, and I explained to him the character. Elliot Rodriguez that you were on with earlier, I told him about it. He's very Catholic. I mean, very Catholic. Yeah. And he's like, "I don't know, man. I don't know if I could have you on my show, with that." And I explained to him, I was like, "This dude is a villain. A villain."
Yeah.
I don't hate religion.
That's a villain. Yeah.
I can assure you that villain will get his comeuppance. Because spoiler alert, the good guys win at the end of this whole 13 issues. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be, you're not going to think that at the end when we on the way there, because once we get to issue 12,
spoiler, good guys win.
Once we get to issue 12 and you see, that there's only one issue left, you're going to be like, how the hell there's no way they're going to come. There's no way they're going to win this. But they do. Yeah. So I assured him, I was like, "Luke, this is essential to the story because how he is dressed, he looks like he's mocking Christianity." I was like, "Yes, but there is a reason. There's a reason. He is why he is." And he was like, he was like, I know he was just like, "What do you mean?" Like, I think he was thinking that I didn't like Christianity and that this was my way of saying that, he hates Christianity. There's a reason. I can assure you, I can promise you. And if you read along, and another spoiler alert, I'm taking him away from you after issue 2 because he's been so popular. I am pulling the rug out from you.
Yeah, do it. And
Yeah.
and a little spoiler for mine too, like any Christian who reads that and interprets it, like you said, pagan was what that guy actually believes in. So it's not like Christian. And like I said, the orcs are like dualism, which that's as Christian as far as good and evil. But
Yeah.
actual traditional dualism is far from it. So like an actual Christian reading it might interpret all of them as misguided, which they are. When you with if you know about the ending, then they are all misguided. So I mean, you can interpret it that way, where it's like like I said, me as a person, I'm not against it, and I'm not talking shit about anything. I just
No, it's
am
just a story,
fascinated.
bro.
Pantheon of gods.
Yeah, I have that too because it's called the Mythicals. I loved the original Clash of the Titans.
Yeah,
Loved it. That's how I really got into mythology and stuff like that. I love it. I love all the world mythologies. I have this whole big sandbox. I loved the Fables. That was a great comic series. They handled fairy tales and twisted them. Oh man, I can't wait to do that
It
in a
sounds
future
sick.
issue. I got all kinds of cool stuff planned, but it's my sandbox. And at the end of the day, it's just a story. I might throw some commentary in on the world.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? But
Yeah,
I'm not inserting myself into the book.
I found it to be a great way of creating organic dialogue, because we can all kind of imagine the arguing.
Yeah. And I don't get.
I'll be right back. Just keep talking.
Yeah, sure. And there's another thing, like I don't the whole shades of gray, like everything, all these morally gray characters, like it's just getting to a point where it's just you don't have a pure hero anymore. You don't have pure good people. You will have this in this book. There are good people, there are bad people, and there are shades of gray. There's even a line where she's in an interview in the first one where I guess she's being interviewed and he just says she's being naive. He said the world's not black and white, there's shades of gray. And she said, no, the priest who molests an altar boy is evil. The woman who smothers her baby is evil, and they deserve to burn in hell, or something like that. And he was like, he got her. She got him. He said, well, you get into an argument. That's obviously Big B. Aaron, come on. It's a that. It's everybody's favorite character, isn't it? But yeah, that's about it. Not really. The book, I mean, it's complete. I've already sent out all my books. I wish I'd sell out, but it's getting to the point where I'm able to go forward with issue 3. Like I said, not a lot of people can do what I do because not everybody's doing floppies, I have a graphic novel plan. I just need to set aside a little bit extra money to do that. And so once I make a little bit more money on the next campaign, I've been increasing this one. I'll do a trade, and then I'll use the profits from that to just make the graphic novel. And that's it. And yes, Kahuna, everybody makes mistakes. I mean, here's the thing. Everybody stumbles, everybody falls, but this is America. It's about second chances. Everybody loves a comeback story, right? I mean, there's some things you don't come back from, obviously. A few things have been in the news. There's some things you just can't walk back. And I attribute that to some people just not having the emotional maturity to keep their feelings in check. And a lot of people misunderstand what people say, I think, via texts or like DMs and stuff like that. And people go off on these rants. And a lot of people just need to unplug for a while and go outside, take a walk, sleep for like 2 years, Aaron. Brother, you see it behind the scenes. I'm running every fucking day. Am I not? But if I can promote Aaron here, go to Kickstarter and back Pendragon. It is going to be amazing. I've been seeing it from the beginning. The colors are awesome. That's my favorite part of the colors. Sorry. It looks like a good tale. I love the fantasy, the Arthurian stuff. But I don't know, Kahuna. Because there's a lot of ego and a lot of big personalities. I mean, ego's a funny thing. resentment, jealousy. I think indie comics has become like I wouldn't say like a fight club or like it's gotten to the point where it was a pond, and they say you're a big fish in a small pond. Yeah, but there are new fish all the time, and it's like the water level's not rising. Some fish are jumping over to other ponds, and they realize they can't get back to the other pond, and like I said, burning bridges. I don't know, dude. I just write books. I write funny books. I can't be bothered with a lot of all that stuff. I guess not being on YouTube as much, maybe that helps. Who knows? I might be a different person. I might be a big asshole. I'd be talking to nobody right now on my channel, saying why are people buying my books? So I don't know, dude. Indie comics is a high school social clique every time. What are you talking about? All day. And I'm just the same dude I was in high school. I would, before school, go smoke a joint with the dudes, go to school, hang out with go play basketball, go to baseball practice, actually pay attention in class, history class, English not so much. But at lunch sometimes I would sit with different people. I didn't have a set. Even like at the scene, like my high school was small. I think we had a graduating class of like 150 people, something like that. Maybe not that much, but we had like this. You had to work your way up. You got to sit at the senior table, which is like all the other tables were like this, but the ones were in front where you like basically looked and presided over the lunchroom. I sat at that table twice, and that was like at the end, just because I was talking to a friend and I was waiting on the phone. I don't care. Like, I guess maybe I was popular because I was unpopular. I don't know if that works. I just try to be open and honest with people. If I don't like it, I don't like it. You'll know. I'm not really passive aggressive. It's not my style. I don't know. You guys got any questions? What was your favorite part of the book? I know at least 2 of you people in here have read it, because there are 2 of you people in here now. And if you read issue 2, what is your favorite character? Or who is your favorite character of the newbies? And he's back.
Thank you for that. Sorry.
All right.
It was just a quick emergency. That's all. Had to help with the dogs.
I hope everything's okay.
It is now. Yes. Nice. We are good. Yes.
I just I rambled. I'm sorry. Don't go back and watch any of that.
I'm sorry for
it's cool. I haven't had to do that in a while.
I know.
It was almost like I had my own. I was in my head. I was like testing my own show.
Hell yeah, man! That was the little baptism by fire for you.
I need some work.
You are. But, well, I think you'd be a good host, personally.
I would have to have somebody with me.
Yeah, that's fair. Having a wingman does help. I mean, just simply having my wife by my side, it just, like last night we did a solo stream. It was just us, and I don't know, it was pretty nice actually, just bouncing off of each other. It kind of, we each had our own like 15-minute like rants where we were just like talking to the camera as if it was a guest like you sitting across from us, you know. And yeah, it actually worked out. I was a little nervous though, but not gonna lie.
Well, thank you, Erin. She's getting her own chibi. I don't know if I dropped it in the back room or whatever, but I'll do that soon. I think I did. I guess to be official, you got to get yourself a 6 a.m. chibi sticker of something.
Yeah, a chibi sticker.
Yeah. Everybody does, and I can't. Oh man, people are gonna hate me. I don't do anime or manga. Aaron's gonna just simply probably take his like away on the stream now. He doesn't agree with me on that, but I have respect for the art. But some of those backgrounds are insane.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's pretty much it for me.
Yeah.
It's Kahuna, what the hell, dude? Nah, it's cool. I mean, I think people have been they say like if you do a flop, even in the mainstream, like you release a number one, it sells, right? Collectability, speculation, just in case. Oh, this is number one. A lot of people get it, but not a lot of people go back for not as many people go back for number two, right? Because you look at X-Men number one, and in no way, disclaimer, I'm no way comparing myself to the Jim Lee X-Men book. That sold over 1 million copies. First comic to ever do that.
Right.
Number two, pretty bit of a drop off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then issue 3 picked up a little bit more. Issue 3 sold more than issue 2. Issue 2's they don't do that. I did it. I'm sorry. I did it because of relentless promotion, and I've gotten feedback that this story is tighter and it's better. I was like, it's because I'm better. It's because while this was being produced and being done, I was working on issue 3, getting that whittled down, doing my self edits, getting that past. It's with the editor now. I should be getting some back soon, and then going and doing issue 4, issue 5, and going and getting those tightened up and ready, and also work on this other project. So I've been hitting the gym.
Yeah, dude.
This book has been out there, and like I said, once you see issue 3, it's going to be so much better than issue 2.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing with issue 3 is it's so much like a 3. I said it's a 2-part pilot. It's really a 3-part pilot. Like the first 3 issues. After that, there's going to be some I wouldn't say a time jump. I hate that word. Some time has passed because we'll probably do it in real time. Like between issue 2 and 3, like 8 months have passed since you got the last book. That's how many months have passed between issue 2 and 3.
You got to not be afraid of the time jump, man.
Yeah.
Time jump. There's a time jump that happens in between every scene in a book, and I mean, it's the reason George Martin is in the bind that he's in right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he was afraid to do the time jump because, like, okay, he started with his kids too young, but he needed just the protagonist kids. Started with. Oh yeah. He started with them too young, so it became very difficult to do some of the things they needed to do. And instead of jumping, he just decided to trudge along and write 2 extra books, I guess. So, to each their own.
Yeah, it's fun. Like storytelling is fun. Like I never call myself a writer. I call myself a storyteller. But I enjoy it. The story is important to me, and it's gonna be great because, like, the way I'm treating this is like nowadays, it's always like 8 to 13 episodes of like a really good TV show. It used to be 21, 22, but they kind of up the production value and cut the time. So that way each issue is kind of like, and each episode is almost like all killer, no filler, because what they call it writing for the trade, where you stretch a story out for X amount of issues because that's what they want.
Yeah.
So there aren't going to be any there are going to be monster of the week issues, like Buffy, they coined the phrase, like, you have this overall plot, but interspersed, X-Files did it too, right? Loved X-Files. I love how that was put together. So you have this big long arc, right? It's like we're going from A to B, but in between here, we're going to take these little stops, and we're going to throw this in there, and then we're going to have what you would call a throwaway issue, but in that issue, they're going to be connective threads to the previous issue and the next going forward. So, I kind of wrote this story backwards, I knew the ending before I knew the beginning. I was like, I know where we're going. How do I start to get there? What's going on there?
The dog. He has a gassy butt, but anyway.
Oh, I hear
we
you.
both just fucking
I feel
ate
you
that
there.
shit for dinner.
He just came over here and just
we ate that for dinner. It's gross.
That's nasty. Yeah, get out of here,
dude.
Stinky boy.
I'm gonna bring him out.
Yeah, that's him telling us. He's like, I should go.
Kahuna, sometimes you just have to know when to let it go. Just end it. And that's why, like, this isn't, and like, I don't read manga, but I do know that they're famous for having X amount of books, what they call a volume, and then they put it away and it's done. They don't go back to it. That's it. That's all you get. That's all you're gonna get with this. This is
a beginning and an end. Yeah.
I guess possibly there's a loophole, a backdoor to maybe do more, but I don't know if I'd want to do that.
Yeah. It would be in the form of spin-offs and stuff. I'm kind of looking at because I grew up as an American, consuming American things like American animation, but I also got I was in that like Goldilocks zone where I also had a little bit of anime, just a little.
Yeah.
It wasn't even
I've
a
seen
fair.
Ninja Scroll. It's okay.
Yeah,
I've
and
seen
so,
Akira. I'm not like I have to have seen Akira. I'm 42 years old.
yeah, gotta.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you got to respect the people who are like they're like doing it all themselves. You just have an animation studio that's faithfully adapting it. That's cool. As a fellow comic book creator, you can kind of get behind the idea of somebody like, oh, they're doing all the lettering, inks, colors, everything. They're doing everything except for like printing it. But then when you look at the beginning and end, like that's kind of what I did with mine. Like a short story is ripe for the picking to be adapted into a graphic novel because it has that ending. And I am primarily a writer, so I would like to just kind of have like maybe comics pop up from short stories. But when I got done with my novel, I wrote out a storyboard. That's what it was. I drew up a storyboard for the entire first chapter, and it was ridiculous. Let me put it this way: my A Saga of Sunsets is like 10,000 words in novel form. In comic form, it's over 72 pages. So I mean, words to pages, like it's like what 10 pages, like what something like that. 10 pages or 12 pages of prose maybe, and that translates to like 72 in comics. Like think about that. Like yeah. It's quite spendy, and I mean, if it's your dedicated thing, I would 100% do the same thing where it's like an ongoing story. I would do that, but since I'm a writer, I went the anime route and did the define and just adapt the short story.
Yeah, mine's done, dude.
Yeah.
I got other stories to tell, other projects. I got to do some sci-fi stuff. I gotta.
Yeah, you gotta.
Sorry, I had to steal him. I needed help because one of the dogs moved and I got his quick, so it was bleeding. And this is a good opportunity for me to tell everyone that styptic powder is not the way to go. You can buy a little tube of clotting gel, and I've had the same one for like 15 years almost, and I've barely used it. And you just need a little bit of that gel and just put it right on there, and it dries and stops the bleeding like magic, and it's so good. So I highly recommend it. I used to have birds.
Yeah.
Sorry. I used to have birds, and so they do not have much blood to lose. So
oh wow.
Yeah.
She would trim their nails and their beaks, so
I am gay, Kahuna. What do you expect? I love dick. Well, one of them.
And she's secretly a man. No, I'm just kidding.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
No.
I was gonna say, however you work that out, I mean, you might want to call a scientist. You probably make some money off that one.
She even had my son. Like,
I know.
wild.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's, like at one point I thought only Arnold Schwarzenegger could birth a child.
Yeah, Arnold, man, that dude's crazy. Like,
I can't believe
about a career.
I can't believe he made that movie. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No,
it's called Junior.
Really?
It's a movie where he gets pregnant.
Oh wow!
Like he volunteers for something and he gets pregnant. They show him full. Man, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. Oh yeah, he did it.
Humiliation ritual.
That's like when The Rock did the Tooth Fairy movie.
Yeah, exactly. These are humiliation rituals. Like it was something.
It's not a contraction.
Yeah, they got something on that guy. That's all I gotta say. They got something on that guy. I mean,
no, Twins is different, and they actually want to make a sequel to that, and I don't give a shit. Like even the Beetlejuice trailer, like I'm just like, okay, fine, let's just get it over with.
A lot of these new ones, man. A lot of these new ones.
It's a Memberberry formula, man. They can't create anything anymore. They have become Skynet. They're AI, and they don't even know it. That's why they're turning to AI, because they can't create. They can't do anything. It's like they're trying to type with knuckles. They can't do anything.
And they gatekeep so hard that
all they can do is alter things and tweak it and make it better.
Quote unquote, yeah.
So,
make it better.
Before I go into another rant, I gotta go. I gotta get some sleep.
Oh, brother, we appreciate having you
Yeah.
on. Is there anything?
Because that's a whole 7 minutes.
Well, like I said earlier, we can
Yeah.
keep going. We
Yeah,
can
that's
keep
a whole
going.
7. That's a whole 7 minutes, and you don't.
Come
The
on
fact is,
anytime.
yeah, just don't ruin things that you don't like that other people do like.
Exactly.
Just because you don't like it's really,
That's
you know,
the
people
goal.
always like Donald Trump used to say, "Is like, well, it's not me they hate, it's you." That's what it is.
You
It's not that.
you are just like Kahuna. You guys sound just like him. Your impression.
Hold on a
Your
second,
impressions are great. Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Oh, here we go.
All
Oh
right,
shit.
Get
you do
it.
a reading.
What's
All
Yep.
right.
It's-
I'm gonna read the Fund My Comic ad on the back of my book, on the first book. Introducing Fund My Comic, the fresh, unique crowdfunding movement for indie creators. That's what they tell me. Join a community driven by freedom of expression, peace, independence, and trust. Support diverse stories, not the gay kind, and empower independent voices with the low 3% platform. Folks, you're going to win so much with 3%. The other ones do 5%, and they have the gays. Creators keep more of the funds raised together, more money in your pocket, folks. Let's change the world of comics and sayings. MAGA 2024. That's not really my best one. There's this guy on Instagram. He did this thing. He's like, "Look at me, the Taj Mahal. They're gonna put me in it one day. They tell me I built it with my own hands. I'm the smartest person you know."
That's really good.
I'm sorry.
I did want to say about the IP destruction is that I think there's an issue too, not necessarily that. I mean, we obviously have a problem where these people don't even know the IP, let alone give a shit about respecting it.
Yeah.
But they, for some reason, think that, you know, okay, this author wrote this story. It has millions and millions of fans and they love it. So why the fuck do they think they have the audacity with their ass to come changing shit like they're doing better?
Right.
Like they can write better and make a better story. And it pisses me off.
Because it's profitable.
Well, in the case it's not anymore.
No, the IP is profitable. That's why they want to take it over, and they just
idiots.
Yeah, they destroy it.
I mean,
you know
I've
what I
never
say
watched
to
a single
that?
episode of Doctor Who in my life, but it's sad what happened to that.
Yeah, farts. That's what it is, Doctor Who. Yeah, that's what I heard.
And it's a lot of it might be a lot of arrogance and hubris, so they really think they can do better. I've seen a couple like still shots of the Acolyte, and I'm like,
fucking chair.
How do you think in any way, shape, and form? You just look at it like
it's not good.
Bro, how does that better? How does that look better? I don't even have to see sound. How does that look better? I saw something from like I don't know if it was either Boba Fett or Mandalorian. They were riding around like little fucking Power Ranger scooters.
Right.
Like you're not. This is $1 billion franchise, and you're not putting it. You're putting more money into other shit than making it look better. Just make it look good.
I think one episode of The Acolyte is like multiple Godzilla -1s or something like that. The budget is out of control, and when we look at things like Rings of Power, the ring, their budget to profit ratio, it's not about money, bro. I'm telling you, they will burn trillions if that's what it takes to destroy the things that are
they don't like. They really don't like. It's like, oh, that's just preach. You know what? We're doing it again. I gotta go.
I'm doing
it again. I'm doing it again.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Doing it again. And then you know what? That's gonna be about that. That's getting up being my fucking YouTube signature. And they're like, oh, and they call it spurging out. I don't like that term because
we call it
like I'm retarded.
We call it Minnesota goodbyes over here.
Yeah, man, these. Yeah, I used to be able to do a minute. Now I don't make fun of people in front of them. Like I could do a Christopher Walken impression. You want to hear that? Like I heard he was gonna be in Dune, right? And he's like, what is he gonna be like? Paul Atreides is Muad'Dib. He's the spice. We gotta get us some flow. We gotta take care of him. Get my Sonica.
Gotta get the Sonica in here. Where is he at?
Like or Tony Soprano. He's like, okay, kids, today we're gonna talk about the letter F. But yeah,
you're good at those, dude.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm good with my dialogue, because I can actually pretend to be somebody else. Because I used to do that shit growing up. Like I'm like, I want to be just like such and such. I'll do an impression of him. Like that's
Yeah.
how Eddie Murphy got famous, was just doing impressions of people.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I used to be able to do the Eddie Murphy laugh.
Yeah. Kahuna says it's not that far off.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Let me
Donkey. Oh.
Hey,
All right,
Shrek.
all right.
Hey, Shrek. Okay, yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah, I won't keep you. You can
All right.
and you can jump off at any point. You don't have to wait till after the intro or whatever. But we're gonna
All right,
we'll
man.
start the intro here.
See you guys.
Nice talking to you.
Yep. Thanks for
Good
finally having
Take
me.
care.
All right,
Yeah, thanks
Everybody
for coming
back to
anytime.
Mythicals. Everybody back it. All right,
Back
see you
it.
guys.
See ya.
Fuck
Back in
yeah.
day. See ya.
Yeah.